This February and March in 6 cities across the U.S., expert faculty will summarize, critique, and integrate key lectures, symposia, and abstract presentations from ASN Renal Week 2009 during the Renal WeekEnds 2010 meetings. In this ASN Kidney News podcast, Renal WeekEnds Education Director Jerry Yee, MD, speaks with ASN about why you should attend one of this year's meetings. February and March of 2010 Renal WeekEnds will take place in 6 cities across the United States. Can you provide a brief summary of Renal WeekEnds and why these meetings were created?
Ben, essentially Renal WeekEnds is a compendium of Renal Week. It takes the best of the context from that annual meeting and compresses it into 6 disciplines. These disciplines are acute kidney injury, which was added last year, clinical nephrology, end-stage renal disease, hypertension, transplantation, and parenchymal renal disorders, which includes diabetic nephropathy and glomerulonephritis. What happens here is that 6 team leaders plus their 2 associates amalgamate the best of the best in their discipline, develop a non-overlapping slide set with the other team leaders, and present these at 6 different cities across the United States. They were created essentially to bring the state-of-the-art to various regions of the United States where there are large contingents of nephrologists and to amplify the educational mission of the American Society of Nephrology. We understand that not everybody that is a member can come to a meeting every year, and this allows for partners of those people who could not participate to come to the meeting.
Where will these Renal Weekend 2010 meetings take place?
They'll take place in Los Angeles, Dallas, Chicago, New York, Washington, D.C., and for the first time in Atlanta, Georgia.
Is there anything new in 2010, new to these meetings?
This year, we will continue the Meet the Professor sessions, and we will also have a session that occurs at lunch where the co-chairs, who are from the various regions where the Renal Weekends actually take place, will present some unknown cases. Aside from that, there's always new and interesting material.
Who is the target audience for the Renal Weekend meetings?
The target audience is essentially for those practicing nephrology on a day-to-day basis, and also it targets fellows. Going to Renal Weekends, if you could not go to ASN Renal Week as a fellow, is a tremendous educational experience. It provides you with a substrate for lifetime learning, gets you into the mode of having to go to a meeting every year to update yourself.
At the end of a Renal Weekend meeting, what educational objectives will participants be able to meet?
Firstly, they'll be able to understand mechanistically and pathophysiologically some of the newer findings in nephrology. Those will be presented. Secondarily, they'll be able to add to the existing knowledge base that they have with amplification of classical diseases, because something new is always being discovered about something that we think we even know a lot about. Thirdly, this gives a lot of impetus for one who has to participate in maintenance of certification, because if you come to ASN Renal Weekends, it means that you have to be prepared for it to begin with and that your basic knowledge has been kept up with.
Renal Weekends are a great opportunity for those who went to Renal Week and missed sessions, those seeking a synopsis of key topics in nephrology, or anyone interested in critiques and perspectives by leaders in the field. But are there any other reasons to attend Renal Weekends beyond the educational objectives?
First of all, it gives you a break from daily practice and allows you to renew yourself and your intellectual spirit. Secondarily, there are networking opportunities for fellows who only have a $50 registration fee. They can meet lifelong friends-to-be by meeting other fellows at this meeting. Thirdly, the more seasoned nephrologist will also meet other nephrologists from his area, some of whom he knows and some of whom he doesn't know, so there's networking there. So there's a great camaraderie that can occur at ASN Renal Weekends. Also, in the Meet the Professor sessions, there's an intimate period where the audience not only participates by asking questions, but can get a face-to-face answer from a world-renowned expert on the question of their choice.
Dr. Yu, do you have any closing thoughts for our audience?
I think that it's something that should be inculcated into your practice. It's a state-of-the-art meeting. Most of the participants come out gleefully holding their head in their hands because the knowledge bank is just so rich.
Dr. Yu, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
ASN Kidney News is a publication of the American Society of Nephrology. The ideas and opinions expressed by participants in ASN Kidney News podcasts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the positions of the Society. To lead the fight against kidney disease, ASN helps its 11,000 members provide high-quality care to patients, conduct cutting-edge research, and educate the next generations of kidney care professionals. To learn more about ASN or kidney news, please visit the Society's website at asn-online.org. Thank you for listening to this podcast of the American Society of Nephrology.